Calling all safety pros, risk leaders, and training champions. If your caffeine game doesn't match your mission, you're sipping from the wrong cup. At Safe Start Strategies, we've brewed up something bold, professionally themed mugs built for those who lead with purpose. Whether you're writing incident reports or running tabletop exercises, your mug should speak your language. Emergency Ops Fuels for responders on the move. Train Safe, Lead Loud for trainers making a difference. Risk Analysis Mode On for those crunching numbers and making it safer for the rest. These aren't conference freebies. They're confidence on your desk. Great for certification gifts, team recognition, or just owning your safety swagger. Find your mission mug now at TikTok Shop. Just search Safe Start Strategies 4, letter U. Lead the change. Lift the mug. Let the message show. Protecting your peace. I protect it like legacy because every microaggression tries to chip away at the temple I've built from resilience. I do not owe them my exhaustion. I do not owe them my erasure. I owe myself rest, joy, a seat at the table that doesn't require leaving my soul at the door. So I light my candle. I write my truth. I take my lunch break without guilt. I speak in my mother tongue when I choose. And in this quiet rebellion, I am whole, I am home, I am peace. Protecting your peace, the unseen cost of success. For many minority professionals, the corporate climb is paved with contradictions. You're celebrated for your credentials, yet questioned for your cadence. You're hired for your perspective, but penalized when you speak it. The corner office may come with a title, but rarely with peace. Peace in these environments is not given. It's a negotiation. It's the quiet grief of being misunderstood, the exhaustion of code switching, the emotional labor of translating trauma into digestible strategy. It's the subtle microaggressions that accumulate like paper cuts, the meetings where your voice is a guest, never a host. And while the paycheck may validate your presence, it rarely affirms your personhood. Peace gets disturbed. Peace is disrupted in ways that are often invisible to those who benefit from the system. It's not just about overt discrimination. It's about the daily erosion of dignity through language policing, being praised for sounding articulate while suppressing your natural dialect or cultural expression. Emotional labor, being expected to educate others about diversity, equity, and inclusion without compensation or authority. Selective inclusion, being invited to the table but excluded from the kitchen where real decisions are made. Feedback as control, being told you're too direct, too passionate, or not a team player when you speak truth to power. Cultural dissonance, navigating environments where your values, rituals, and ways of knowing are seen as unprofessional. These disruptions don't just affect your productivity, they impact your spirit. They create a fracture between who you are and who you're allowed to be. The myth of professionalism. Let's name it. Professionalism as defined by dominant culture is often a euphemism for assimilation. It rewards proximity to whiteness, maleness, straightness, neurotypicality, and wealth. It penalizes authenticity. It demands performance. For minority professionals, this means wearing a costume, what I call corporate cosplay. It's the blazer that fits the role but not the soul. It's the smile that doesn't reach your eyes. It's the cadence curated to calm their discomfort. But peace is not found in performance. It's found in presence, and reclaiming it requires intention. Ways to protect your peace. 1, name the disruption. Start by naming what's stealing your peace. Is it a colleague's tone? A policy that erases your culture? A meeting where your ideas are dismissed? Naming it gives you power. It shifts the narratives from I'm overreacting to I'm responding to harm. I am not difficult. I am discerning. 2, setting boundaries without apology. Boundaries are not barriers. They're bridges to peace. Say no to unpaid emotional labor. Decline meetings that drain you. Protect your time, tone, and your truth. No is not defiance, it's dignity. Create rituals of restoration. After high performance days, engage in rituals that return you to yourself. Speak in your mother tongue. Listen to music that reflects your rhythm. Write your own voice, unfiltered and unedited. Peace is reclaimed in the quiet moments after the performance ends. Number 4, find safe spaces within unsafe systems. Build micro communities of trust, colleagues, mentors, affinity groups, spaces where your full self is welcome. Let your truth breathe somewhere, even if it's not everywhere. I may perform in public, but I heal in community. Number 5, redefine professionalism. Challenge the norm, speak truth to power, model authenticity. Professionalism should not mean erasure. It should mean excellence with integrity. I am not here to fit in. I am here to shift the frame. Number 6, honor your legacy. Remember, you are not the first to navigate systems built to exclude. Invoke the strength of those who survived, resisted, and reimagined. Let your peace be a tribute to their endurance. Every time I protect my peace, I honor those who never had the chance. Peace is a practice. Protecting your peace is not a one-time act. It is a daily practice, decision to show up whole, even when the system prefers you fragment it. It is the courage to rest, to resist, to reclaim. In a world that profits from your performance, peace is the most radical thing you can choose, and you deserve it. Chapter 5, Protecting Your Peace, is a sacred pause in the storm, a moment where survival shifts into sovereignty. As the author, I wrote this chapter to affirm what many people of color have long known, but rarely been given permission to prioritize. That peace is not a luxury, it is a necessity. The direct message is clear. Spaces, especially those steeped in performative diversity and unchecked bias, can erode your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being if you're not vigilant. This chapter is a call to set boundaries, to recognize when advocacy becomes self-sacrifice, and to reclaim rest as resistance. But the hidden message is more intimate. It's a love note to the weary, the overextended, the ones who have been told that excellence must come at the cost of ease. It is a reminder that protecting your peace is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's ancestral, it's revolutionary in a world that demands our labor but seemingly resists our liberation. This chapter invites the reader to choose themselves without apology. It challenges the myth that burnout is a badge of honor or courage and replaces it with a new truth that healing, joy, and intentional withdrawal are part of the leadership journey. Protecting your peace is not just a strategy, it's a spiritual imperative. It's where legacy begins to breathe. Now, I leave you with these questions to contemplate and ask yourself in internal moments of reflection. What would it mean to choose peace over proximity to power and trust that my legacy will still rise? What does peace look like for you at work? And how often do you feel you have to compromise it to be accepted, promoted, or heard? How do you recognize when your peace is being disturbed? Emotionally, spiritually, or physically? What signals does your body or spirit send you? And how do you respond? If your workplace truly honored your peace, what would change? Consider policies, communication norms, leadership behaviors, and cultural expressions and expectations. Reflect on a moment when you chose silence to preserve your peace. Was it self-protection or self-erasure? What did you need in that moment that the environment couldn't offer? What boundaries have you set or wish you could set to protect your energy from microaggressions, performative allyship, or emotional labor at work? My goal in sharing the chapters of this book is to provide every listener the opportunity to gather nuggets of knowledge and hopefully find themselves filled in a world that consistently depletes and leaves us on empty. However, I could not include everything that's in this book. Some of the things that are excluded in the book, every chapter ends with resources to help the reader with mental health support. Some of it is retreat information, things that can overall help every individual reader to achieve a state of peace and hopefully balance in this corporate or work rat race that many of us are participating in. And another area of the book that I could not include in the audio is the Corporate Conundrum Field Guide. It's a trauma-informed, trauma-centered checklist designed to help you decode performance expectations, reclaim your identity, and protect your peace in systems that often demand your labor but deny your liberation. Whether you're navigating coded characters, corporate cosplay, or this field guide offers clarity, strategy, and legacy-rooted reflection. The closing letter from myself to the reader. Dear reader, if you've made it to this final page, you've done more than finish a book. You've survived a reckoning. You've walked through the corridors of coded language, endured the weight of performative praise, and stared down the quiet violence of exclusion. You've nodded in recognition, winced in memory, and maybe even laughed to keep from crying. That's the conundrum, and you faced it head on. The guide was never meant to be a manual for assimilation. It was a mirror, a megaphone, and a map. A mirror to reflect the truth of what many of us endure. A megaphone to amplify the voices, often muted in boardrooms and break rooms. And a map, not to escape, but to navigate with clarity, dignity, and strategy. You now know what the corner office doesn't come with: immunity. The stop options don't silence microaggressions. The visibility without voice is a trap, and that being the only one in the room is not a badge, it's a burden. But you also know this: you are not alone, you are not crazy, you are not too sensitive, you are not overreacting, you are simply awake. Let this book be your permission slip to stop performing and start preserving, to stop shrinking and start strategizing, to stop surviving and start shaping. You are not here to be tolerated. You are here to be transformative. And to those who read this and feel discomfort, good. Growth lives here. This was never written to soothe the status quo. It was written to disrupt it. So go forward with your head high and your boundaries firm. Speak truth, even when your voice trembles. Build legacy, even when the system resists. And remember, every time you choose authenticity over assimilation, you reclaim a piece of your power. I would also like to share this African proverb: until the lion tells a story, the hunter will always be the hero. With deepest respect and continued encouragement, Dr. Sharita Green. Calling all safety pros, risk leaders, and training champions. If your caffeine game doesn't match your mission, you're sipping from the wrong cup. At Safe Start Strategies, we've brewed up something bold: professionally themed mugs built for those who lead with purpose. Whether you're writing incident reports or running tabletop exercises, your mug should speak your language. Emergency ops fuels for responders on the move. Train safe, lead loud for trainers making a difference. Risk analysis mode on for those crunching numbers and making it safer for the rest. These aren't conference freebies. They're confidence on your desk. Great for certification gifts, team recognition, or just owning